Okay, so I woke up at 5 a.m. this morning and decided it was time to finally build my Drop Carina Iron Man edition. First thing I did was to check that I had all the parts that I needed, and I basically counted all the screws, all the stabs, all the stems, every single thing, just to make sure, because it would have been really annoying to actually start this project and realize I was missing something. The next thing I did was to make sure that all the electronics worked, so I checked to actually make sure the keyboard and the parts functioned. Once that was done, it was time to basically start building the stabilizers, lubing and tuning them. I opted to not clip the wings on my stabs because I figured I wanted the board to sound as natural as possible, even though I didn't want a ridiculous amount of rattle. At the same time, I chose to come and do this at my desk because I wanted to use the BenQ screen bar light from the lovely guys at BenQ so that I could actually see what I was doing properly, because it's possible to completely ruin the build at this point, to be honest. And as you can probably already tell from this video, I take lubing and tuning very, very seriously, as it's the most important part of any build. I went ahead and installed the stabs onto the copper plate, and I installed some switches onto the four corners of the plate, and then installed that onto the PCB that was already inside my keyboard case. I went ahead and screwed those down very tightly, and well, fairly tightly, and I made sure to actually install switches onto the function row or the number row from outside to inside. So I was basically doing one on each side carefully before I actually moved the board back to my other desk so I could complete the switch installation. Now, once I was back on the build table, I made sure to continue doing from left to right and left to right and meeting in the center just to make sure nothing was damaged, and I was carefully installing all the switches because I was about to go and actually test all this with keyboardtester.com before I started putting on any keycaps, just to make sure I didn't have to disassemble anything to check any switches or bent pins or anything like that. Went back to the computer and tested every single switch, and I realized I actually did a fantastic job. So the next thing was to actually install the keycaps, which was fairly easy but also quite confusing, because the Iron Man keycap set actually has a bunch of other keycaps that you don't necessarily need, but you could actually use to customize the way the keyboard looks. So I took my time and I made sure to actually build this in a way that I was actually going to enjoy using. Took me around 2 hours 30 minutes to complete this build, so I was done around 7:30 a.m. and that was probably because this was not a complicated build. It was fairly easy and it was straight to the point. Anyways, I really enjoy how my Drop Carina looks, and if you would like to see the full review for this board, please subscribe, leave a thumbs up, leave a comment so I know you're actually interested, and I guess I will see you on another video that was shot by Kagan. Peace.
Kini majalale yi o Jesu, kini majalale yi o Baba, ẹ̀bà wù mí jẹ, àmàlà wù mí jẹ àti pọ̀nmọ́ tó mu tayọ. Kini majalale yi o, ẹgbẹ́ akọrin. Kini majalale yi o Jesu, kini majalale yi o. Ó jẹ́ sọ̀rọ̀ sókè. Kini majalale yi o Jesu, Olúwa, kini majalale yi o.